a man who dug through a prison wall with a spoon, 3 inmates who vanished from escape-proof Alcatraz on a raft made of raincoats, a prisoner who walked out the front gate wearing a uniform he sewed himself. Everyone says you can't break out of prison. These 5 people respectfully disagreed. Here they are, ranked from, okay, that's clever, to no way that actually worked. Number 5, Pascal Paillet. Most people try to break out of prison. Pascal Paillet looked at the problem and thought, why climb walls when you can just fly over them? It's 2001, and Paillet, locked up in a French prison, pulls off an escape using a hijacked helicopter that drops in, scoops him up, and lifts him out over the walls like the world's most illegal Uber. And that would be impressive enough on its own. But here's the part that makes him number 5. A few years later, after he'd been recaptured, his friends broke him out the exact same way. A commando team hijacked a chopper at gunpoint from a French airport, flew it to the prison roof, and lifted him out a second time. The man escaped by helicopter twice. The French authorities had to start scheduling his prison transfers in secret and moving him constantly just to keep anyone from landing on the roof again. When your escape plan is so good they have to redesign the entire system around stopping you, you've earned your spot on this list. Number 4, and this one's different because this escape wasn't about freedom, it was about proof. In 1944, 2 prisoners named Rudolf Verba and Alfred Wetzler did something almost nobody managed. They escaped Auschwitz. And they didn't just run. They hid in a hollowed-out woodpile near the edge of the camp for 3 days, while guards searched everywhere, having packed the gaps with tobacco soaked in gasoline to throw off the dogs. When the search wound down, they slipped out and walked over 100 miles to safety. But the truly important part is why. Once free, the 2 men wrote a detailed report of everything happening inside the camp. The numbers, the methods, the scale. That report reached the outside world and is credited with helping save tens of thousands of lives. Most escapes on this list are about nerve. This one was about that, plus a desperate determination to make the world finally listen. Number 3, the most famous escape in history. The 1962 Alcatraz Breakout. Alcatraz was supposed to be the end of the line, an island prison in freezing, shark-adjacent waters, the place they sent you when no other prison could hold you. And in June 1962, Frank Morris and brothers John and Clarence Anglin made it look optional. For months, they widened the air vents in their cells using spoons and a homemade drill built from a stolen vacuum motor. They built a raft and life vests out of more than 50 stolen raincoats, stitched and glued together. And on the night of the escape, they tucked handmade dummy heads, made of soap, toilet paper, and real human hair from the barbershop, into their beds so the guards' nightly head counts would see sleeping men. Then they climbed through the vents, up a utility corridor, onto the roof, and paddled off into the night. They were never found. To this day, nobody knows if they drowned or made it. The FBI investigated for 17 years. Officially, it's still open. Number 2, the Texas 7. Most escapes on this list are 1 or 2 clever people. This was a coordinated operation. In December 2000, 7 inmates at a maximum security prison in Texas pulled off one of the most elaborate breakouts ever attempted. The plan was pure audacity. Over the course of one afternoon, they lured prison staff and other workers into a maintenance area one at a time, overpowered them, and tied them up, eventually subduing around a dozen people. They stole uniforms, civilian clothes, and crucially, the keys to the prison armory, walking out with a stockpile of weapons. Then, several of them impersonated prison staff over the phone to delay anyone noticing, drove out through the back gate in a stolen prison vehicle, and vanished. For weeks, they were the most wanted men in America. It took a nationwide manhunt and a tip from a TV crime show to finally track them down. As a piece of pure criminal coordination, it remains almost unbelievable. Number 1, Alfie Hines, the man who didn't just break out of prison, but turned escaping into an art form and then beat the system at its own game. Hines was a British criminal convicted of a jewelry robbery in 1953. a conviction he always insisted was wrong. So he decided to leave. His first escape, he slipped out of a prison through a locked door and over a 20-foot wall, earning the nickname Houdini Hins and disappearing for over 6 months. Recaptured, he escaped again, this time outwitting 2 guards by arranging for a padlock to be rigged on a courthouse toilet door, locking them in while he strolled off. Recaptured again, he escaped a 3rd time. But here's why he's number 1. Hines wasn't just slippery, he was clever. From inside prison, he studied law, represented himself, and filed so many sharp legal challenges that he eventually won a libel case against a police officer and used the publicity and legal maneuvering to effectively walk free. He out-escaped the guards and then out-lawyered the courts. That's not just a prison escape. That's a man who treated the entire justice system like a lock to be picked. And that's why Alfie Hines is number 1. So there you have it. 5 people who heard escape is impossible and took it as a personal challenge. From a man who flew out by helicopter twice to one who escaped using a spoon and sheer patience, the lesson is clear. Tell someone a wall can't be climbed, and someone, somewhere, will find a way over it. Remember, if you enjoyed this one, you know what to do. And make sure we'll see you in the next one.